I feel crooked looking at the camera the whole time.
Like, I just feel like my hat's on my head sideways. All right. So what's up, everybody? Welcome, Babo.
How's everybody doing?
We are going to do some body stuff this time. Somebody, I don't remember if it was in the comments or on my Facebook or one of those, but somebody asked me to talk about some of the old bodies that I originally made. So we'll start with this thing. So this was like, I don't know. Don't really know what I was trying to model it after. I think I was trying to just basically do a open cockpit A-scale style, like scooped front end version of the like the what was the Parma 12 scale body we're all running? I got one of those around here somewhere. But that's kind of what it was. It was
Forgot
like,
about that. You just wanted it to be different than a P35.
yeah. Well, actually, we started running the Parma body.
Yep.
And I wanted something that was different than that because that's all everybody was pretty much running. I really wanted open cockpit with the driver, so it just looked cool, whatever. And so everything was kind of based and proportioned off of that. From there, that's when we started making interesting stuff. It's basically that thing that Ron Atomic ran at the snowbirds, which, by the way, Ron Atomic is a savage to even have raced this thing. I can't believe he raced it. And I think he was in the stock A main, wasn't he?
Yeah.
With this.
I think made it.
Yeah, so just to me, that was just absolutely ridiculous that he actually ran it and, like, didn't take it off his car and run screaming from it. But, right. But trying to do something that was a little bit more realistic and whatever. So then after that one, I tried to do it a little bit more proper. And what I wanted to copy was this. I really thought this car was pretty cool looking, one of the Peugeots. And at the time, looking at all the 12 scale bodies, they were getting more doorstop-ish, more slot car wedge looking. And so I thought maybe if we started making something like this that would maybe kind of work well, we would keep everybody from going that direction and we'd kind of keep them a little bit more real, but that never happened. So I kind of just some pictures that I was using for mold ideas. And then that's when I made this thing. Now, the surprising part about this thing was how much it pushed. Like, I remember testing it the first time. I put it on a car, and the first thing I thought is, this thing's going to go down the straightaway and it's going to do a donut. There's no way. And surprisingly, I took too much out of the front fender. So you look at how rounded off the fenders were. I tried to take some front end out of it to make it push intentionally. And it like pushed off the track. I was flabbergasted at like how easy and safe it was to drive, but how bad it pushed.
There's no sharpness to that thing at all. Like
no
scoop, nothing. I forgot all about that thing, man.
Yeah, no outside, no big side dam, real small rear wing. Just I think I took too much off of the nose to really make it like have enough steering, especially into and center of the corner, to be good. I mean, I still think this is more the lines that we should be racing 12 scale nowadays instead of, A-scale nitro looking things that are all jacked up with 30 inches of rake and giant side dams. But, that's my opinion. So from that one,
more downforce and go that way.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I kind of laugh. I mean, Scott Jakes is making rubber tire 12 scale that everybody seems to be liking. And this is what I keep talking about on some of the stuff with the 12 scale body rules and just the overall rules of bodies and in RC racing in general. They've become so raked, so wedged, such a high front center of pressure that they're just hard to drive. So then we get into these 3D models. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen this thing. I don't know have you ever visited a website called Mulsane's Corner? I think that's how you pronounce it. I could be wrong. Mulsane?
No, I haven't heard that one.
It's MULSANES corner.com. And there's all kinds here. Let me switch the screen. Jump back to that. Tab. This.
Talk to the producer.
All right. So this website is awesome because they have like so many old school cars. And this is where I was going and looking for pictures and just aero stuff. So this Allard J2X was in here. And I just thought it was really cool. If you go through like all the different links, pictures, it takes you to more pages and more info. And it's kind of laughing that it looked like was that old cartoon Speed Racer type thing. But yeah, it just looked like a really crazy, really interesting car that just looked like something fun to make for a 12-scale body. So that's where I was poking around and checking out all this stuff. And I saved a bunch of the pictures. And that's where I kind of wanted to make something, kind of more realistic, but kind of more outrageous type of thing.
Cool.
So that was where I had realized that, like Dale up and all the guys that were hand making molds, for one, I did not have time to spend 160, 200 hours sitting there handcrafting a mold. Two, I did not have the patience nor the skill to be able to do it at the time, but I knew that I could draw. So I kind of thought the future of all this stuff was going to be like drawing and machining them or 3D printing them. So that's when I started creating all of these.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, so this is, if you look at like my YouTube header and the car that's in the corner, that's that. So that's what I used for the screenshot for that header thing. So, but what these was along the same concept. So I had already done one. Oops. I had already done this one where
you're all about the rear wing.
I wanted them real. I don't think these need to be this big. I really don't. I think this is stupid. They don't match what's done in real racing and anything. So what I had done was I had drawn it to whatever our rules were at the time. But then I had also, like, just for demonstration here, had it to where these could be Lexan, kind of like the Pro 10 bodies were. You could stick them on, you could cut them, whatever rules somebody wanted to run by. This, if I open this one, this was adjustable and you could slide it. So you kind of had this range where you could kind of adjust or tune the bodies. Just something different.
I hope someone.
What's that?
Sharing this stuff for everybody. I hope somebody would make that. That looks trick.
Yeah, I mean, it was just something fun that I really wanted to see how it would work. So, and I guess I should kind of, oops. I guess I should kind of also show the other part of this that I did. So of course I've had all of our other 12 scale designs and stuff. So this was the first one that was more like that original, that kind of cleared everything. I tried to make it look like the original like engine scoops that they had on that other car, our little dimple to clear our rear pod. And so then as I kind of progressed, I wanted to just kind of see how crazy I can make it. So this one was to be more of like a 13.5, or at the time it was like a 19 turn or stock version or something. Rear wing was lower. Some of this side cutout stuff wasn't as extreme. No vents on the top, so there's a little less downforce, a little better airflow. You could still cut out some vents if you wanted to. Again, I was just drawing crazy stuff, just wanted to see what things would do. I'm trying to remember where I hid it. So yeah, I think it's in this one. So what you can see is that is actually like a clearance envelope of a normal 12 scale car underneath the body there.
That's about that. I've never seen anyone do the narrower like side pod deal. Like could you even get away with any of that? But I guess you can. Some run like a forward and backwards. That's just sideways.
Yeah, it is sideways. So what I did was I basically wrapped our CEFX 12 scale car at the time. So, and this was a T-bar car with round cells. And I think I later added to it with like our Link car with the LiPo battery in it. So this was, your upper arm, center shock, dampener tubes, and then this kind of weird shape was the rear pod in a compressed position. Like if you had, say, 4 millimeters of ride height and you bottomed it out and swung the pod up, that was kind of this motor and pod position, spur gear and stuff. So I had kind of built all that into it. So that way I had this kind of clearance envelope to make it all work. So, but this one had the wider side pods. And then this one went back skinny. I had the center fan.
You have this one. Can you do you know what the narrower stuff did there?
No, no one's ever made anything like it. But I mean, if you turn them around and look from this way, I mean, that's a lot of vents to open up like that. That could be a lot of air drawn underneath everything.
Yeah, the way it would even release out of the car or out of the wheel well would be just different.
Oh, you mean like pulling? You mean like actually pulling the mold?
Well, I don't know. No, I mean like as the air flows out of the wheel well, car. I don't know. It's just a different direction for it to turn. I don't know. Just something different.
Oh yeah, that's. I have no idea what it would do. Again, it was just I always liked that car for some reason. I thought it was really cool looking, and I just kind of went down this crazy path of drawing a bunch of different variations of it. This one here didn't have the blue one here didn't have the center spine on it or the vent on the roof, and then it was also shorter. So the whole side dams and everything was all pushed forward.
It'd be an awesome 8-scale body.
Yeah, so you can see all of them had the greenhouse kind of moved in a different spot, and I mean, I just had all kinds of different stuff all kind of pushed around, and but the idea of this, and I think the important thing to note for anybody that's actually like a designer of any of this stuff, CAD stuff, I didn't know surfacing at the time to do any of this. So normally when you do stuff like this, they're all done with surfacing. You lay out your lines and points and start running some splines and stuff and kind of stitching everything together. I didn't do that this way. So, and to answer Greg Anthony's question, no, I did not, but I did send Danny Miles one of these to be able to run in CFD because he works at Autodesk, but I don't know if he ever ran it or played with it much if he had time. So let me, for example, I'll open this one up. So in SolidWorks, you can do some cool stuff where this right here is what's called the join file. So inside of it, it had all of these separate parts. So all I did was join all of these separate parts from a main assembly, and then just added some fillets and features and stuff just to kind of blend everything together. So,
man, that makes it so much easier.
So what I did though was, for example, is I drew the front fenders and then just had a connection point to be able to put them together in the main assembly. And then that way, if I wanted to take any different version of these, whether it be the cockpit position or whatever, I could just literally swap out the front fenders that had these same indexing points in my 3D model. And I could just drop them in and swap from one setup to another setup. So I could, I could make, if I wanted to, I could do 30 different molds out of, the same like 8 or 10 different variations of all the parts. So everything was set up to where, to where it was all kind of modular. And my idea with all this originally was to try and make it to where I could actually make the molds. I wanted to 3D print the molds, but what I wanted to do was kind of just take a basic setup of a few of these and then go through and trim them on a couple, like, say, reference lines. And then that way, so I basically like take this whole center cab, take the cockpit, and cut this section off, but pocket it to where it was like a module I could move back and forth. So like the side dams would not be attached, and those could be moved back and forth, just so you can almost like make a prototype and do some pulls, move some stuff, do a few more pulls, move something else, do some pulls, bolt on some fender vents, move them, do some pulls, and bam, you got a whole fleet of test bodies to where you could really find out what did what and what worked the best. Because of course we weren't playing with CFD and any of this stuff, but
I'm not sure about it's probably a little front ends.
What's that?
I said when you're doing it by hand, probably a little harder to make big adjustments. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not easy. And the thing is with this kind of stuff, I mean, thinking of how thin they've gone with all the 12 scale bodies nowadays, like some of this structure and shape into them would be awesome to keep the front end of the bodies moving down. I don't know if you've seen how ridiculously thin the 12 scale bodies are nowadays, but I mean, you can just like take them and wad them up into a ball. I mean, they're insane how light and thin they are. So, just adding some structure and some stuff like that. But again, these are just something I had drawn and played with, and we were actually going to buy a 3D printer, a big one, when we were at CEFX, and that was kind of the point of why I started doing all this, is I wanted that to be our next path for mold making, and well, never happened. So these have sat in the computer for, well, 13, 14 years now. It's kind of funny that they were drawn that long ago.
It looks like
if you look,
I know.
Huh?
Looks like they would fit in right now. I mean, I guess I don't know exactly what a 12 scale looks like, but it looks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Everybody still runs AMRs, and well, that don't really look too far away from what I drew 13, 14 years ago. My canopy's maybe a little wider, but it's just kind of funny that these still
reminds me of this more than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a freaking Super Diablo.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of does, huh?
The front end stuff.
I was going to say that the canopy on this is probably bigger than your Super Diablo. That thing's tiny.
Pretty low.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this was some of the stuff I was drawing, and so unfortunately never made, but it's all going to go up on GrabCAD. So if anybody wants to laugh at how I made these in my non-surfacing style, and does have access to a CFD program, especially any students or anything, they can run it. I think most of the 12 scale cars are in the they're in the 30 to 50 mile an hour range. That was one of the things that I did make. I wasn't able to run like a full body like this in it, but I did just make some like front end profiles. And that's one of the things where, because of how steep the front angles are and some of this stuff, that a lot of the air ends up actually just flying right over the back end of the rear wing once you get up close to like 55, 60 miles an hour. I think otherwise it still stays on, but a lot of it ends up just tripping right over the rear wing. And that's why we've seen like the 12 scale cars get kind of like violent at the end of the straightaways at like, IIC or some of the other races, bigger tracks, higher speed, because you start losing the airflow over the back end of the cars. But then again, what do? They just throw more rake into them anyway. And I don't think at that point it trips over it. But I do think that was part of the thing why the A-scale cars don't have that issue, is because they're so low through the center here. So they still keep a lot of airflow trapped in that they get shoveled between the front fenders. So, but So yeah,
that's good stuff right there.
yeah. This is again. It's just one of those things where I was sitting at the track and everybody wondered what I was always doing in my office. It was drawing dumb stuff that I never made. So,
Well,
but like I was just telling Todd Bigelow in the Photon, the part 2 video that we just posted, I was cleaning up and going through boxes here. I managed to clean out a couple more, and I found that. And when I started drawing the Kyosho touring car stuff, I actually crashed my computer and had to like 2-3 day stay up all night to try and get some stuff done for a deadline. And so after that, I started burning copies all the time. So I started popping some of those in. And when I got this computer, which at the time was newer and is at this point 10 years old, I didn't copy a lot of the data. So I'm laughing. I went through all these CDs and I have like everything. I have the Street Weapon, like 2D stuff from like forever ago. I have remember the trailing arm thing I ran at the Reedy race?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I've got that CAD. Now that's all only in 2D. That's not even, none of that stuff's in 3D. So there's a lot of that stuff that, just playing with this, that when I have some time, I think I'm going to convert and then build up into a model and see what I actually had and reference off of some pictures and stuff. So there's some of that kind of crazy stuff that was really old that I also want to get converted and get added into the collection here and added to GrabCAD just for some extra, what the heck was I thinking type of thing. But yeah, pretty neat to see all the stuff in there. And I haven't talked to anybody from Kyosho to know if I could possibly share it, but I have all the Kyosho touring cars that I did. There was 7 of them. So the last one that you probably saw me run a lot and actually had good success with was the carbon fiber bulkhead car. It was no top deck, but it was like 2 big long bulkheads. So I have that CAD and all that stuff too. So I already cleaned up that one and put it together because that was another one that I had requested. So with the girls going to hockey nationals, I got a whole bunch of videos that I want to get uploaded from races, and then I'm going to try and do one of these, like at least 1 or 2 per evening, or maybe one for during lunch, or and then one in the evening or something like that. So I'm going to try and knock through a bunch of these next few days and just do some videos and get all these posted to GrabCAD before I'm gone for a week to Denver to watch the kids play some hockey. So
right. Good thing you weren't. You could have. It's just your week off. You could have been there.
What's that?
You're a week away from being able to be at the old Mile High race.
Yeah, that would have been fun to be able to stop in and hassle some people and then leave.
Saw some old names pop up. Looks like a pretty good thing there.
Yeah, that's a good club.
I don't know. So that's what they like to do.
Yeah, it'd just be fun to walk in, give old Fico some crap, and head out the door. Last time I was up there, I actually ran really good. That's when I ran for Bruce and wound up TQing and winning all five classes, and I let Mario drive my World GT car because they always accused me of cheating. So that was kind of funny. He drove it and he actually I think went just as fast as I did. He just kind of overdrove it. So like he started fast and then it like started fading, I think because of the way I had it set up and geared and everything. So he just kind of, the way he drove, just kind of pinched it and bounded up. But it was fun. That was always a good race, a good club, good group of guys.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. Bob Riley just texted me. He's like, holy cow, Bobby shaved and cut his hair.
I got a text from, Barry Baker tuned in again saying he's a little upset. Sorry, B. I had to go.
I didn't even, it was like, holy mountain man, look at that dude. You can tell he's got the full COVID look going.
Yeah, well, no need to see people.
Yeah.
And that keeps people
if they
from
do
talking
see
to
you,
you.
You got a mask on, so.
Well, they don't want to talk to you when you look like that, so it worked out pretty good.
So that was your social distancing, antisocial look, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. Like that dude looks like he hasn't showered or got it.
Is that guy homeless?
Yeah. I looked like Happy Gilmore's caddy.
Nice.
Or Forrest Gump. It was not good. We got it all fixed up, though.
Bob Riley asked if I had seen what it would cost to print one of these on Shapeways. I did a long time ago, and I want to say I think I had like hollowed it out or something. I had worked on it to where it was only going to be like 3 millimeters thick, basically, or 2 or 3 millimeters thick, just to use as like a mold tool. And I want to say it was still like $500 just because of the size. It was like $500-600. So it was something I wanted to do, but at the time the track wasn't doing good and I was broke as it was. And so we just, like I said, never did it. And actually, I don't think Shapeways was around at that time. It was a few years after that Shapeways popped up and I loaded one of these into it. So I don't know what the cost would be now. It's been a long time since I looked up any of that stuff.
Well, everybody, let's report back in a few months when you design your bodies. I want to see what the track, hopefully somebody makes one.
I can't wait to see if somebody pops up with some car with narrow side pods and all this stuff. I'm just going to be rolling laughing.
Why not?
I think it'd be cool. If somebody makes one, send me one, damn it. So I got it on my shelf. It'd be cool. But now maybe one day I'll buy a 3D printer and print it myself.
Seems like a good investment.
Yeah. Be fun to like print one. Well, I just want to print. Come on, man. Look how many dumb things I've got drawn. You imagine what I would have sitting here if I would.
More stuff. More stuff. Yeah. You'd have what's inside your computer outside your computer.
Yeah. Instead of all this junk around me, I could just get rid of all this and then like have just a pile of crazy
mounds of plastic everywhere. What is
just piles of crazy 3D printing cars that everybody, what the heck is that? I don't know. Something I wanted to draw. So yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun. So I don't know, I'm kind of itching.
Yeah, you're going on. You're gonna be ordering one like the next. That's what you're gonna be doing on lunch break at the hockey games, just ordering 3D printer.
No, not. I'll be honest, not what I want.
No.
I mean, I know a lot of guys have ones that you can get pretty cheap now, but I don't know. I always want the expensive stuff. So there's like the two I looked at are like I really want are like $3,500, $4,000. So
it's a little steep.
Yeah, Angel would kill me. So
no need to add to the list.
Yeah, no, everything's good. So I'd rather not be in deep trouble. So
it's generally the best route.
Yeah.
In my experiences.
Yeah, I'm making everybody happy. I did the glitter on the helmet. It's all wet sanded down now. So I had to spray the glitter, clear it, wet sand it. So now it's all prepped. I was laughing. So all my stuff's really old. When I pulled out my old masking tape and I taped the helmet and I posted that picture like with just a rough design on it.
Yeah.
Well, then they decided they wanted glitter. Okay. So I pulled all the tape off. It was a good thing they changed their mind because I pulled all the tape off and like all the glue off that tape stuck. Like my masking tape was obviously so old that it had gone bad and just like all the adhesive. So it took me like an hour worth of pulling it all off and cleaning it. So it was a disaster. So
that would have been really fun trying not to scrape paint off.
Yeah. So I threw away a whole ton of paint or tape and ordered more masking tape and all kinds of other stuff that's supposed to be here Wednesday. So I think they're still asking me to try and get this new helmet painted for nationals. I don't know how.
You could probably get on that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to start Wednesday, like heavy on it. The hard part's done, the glitter and all the clear coat's done. So we'll see. I actually set up my GoPro and I set up a time lapse for when I was spraying all the glitter and all this stuff. And I made a huge mess, man. It looked like I killed a unicorn down here. There's glitter and crap everywhere. And the worst part is when I set it up, I put it on just regular video mode. I screwed up and it wasn't time lapse. So I had like an hour and a half of me fighting with my airbrush and glitter and a bunch of other stuff. I'm like, delete. Like, this is terrible. Like, what a noob, what a mess I made. It's so bad. So I just canned everything. Like, heck with it. So,
well, you learn, you win, you lose. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So that's right. You think this is my third one I've painted now, so you'd think I'd get a little bit better, but apparently not. So we'll see. So get that thing done. There'll be one more thing off my list and get back to doing more stuff down here. But 2 of the videos I'm going to try and get up tomorrow are, you'll love this one. It's the 91 Off-Road Worlds 2-wheel drive from Freedom Hill from Semrock. That's probably before your time.
Oh, I know all about it, but yeah, Freedom Hill was still around for a few years when I was starting racing. Like, I remember reading that 8-scale nationals in RC car action that you just posted the other day. I remember seeing that with Derek and whatever that car was.
Yeah. The Associated Worlds car?
No, I'm talking about Freedom Hill was up till whatever year that was that nationals was that you just posted. Right? Is that Freedom Hill?
Freedom Hill was around till maybe 2000, 2001?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. But the track moved from where it was at the 91 Worlds, and it kind of got moved a couple hundred feet away. And I don't know how they did it, but they even moved that whole driver stand and everything. And the neighbors complained about the noise they had like a Kyosho Cup or Kyosho Masters race or something with a lot of entries. And somebody came and burnt the driver stand down after. But that's where we actually did a bunch of the like stunts and jumping A-scale cars in the trash cans off the big triple there for Jeff's XXX main video and stuff. That was also the video. That was also the track where Blackstock raced the house jump buggy. So I'll get into that one. I really want to get one of these with some of the pictures of the video clip and everything. And I want to get Jeff from XXX Main, and I want to get Bobby Santoro, because Hobby Bobby from the Riders there, I think it was in Taylor where he was the one that actually got my house jump buggy after we jumped it into the coal car. A buddy of his worked at whatever the steel mill, or I don't even know where it went to, but he calls him up and tells him he's got some RC car that some kid probably dropped off an overpass. And, maybe he could find the owner, and he brought it, and I got my buggy back. But it's hilarious. So I want to get those guys on and talk about that stuff one of these days.
It's like the next ESPN 30 for 30, the house jump.
Everybody keeps asking me when I'm going to do another one of those.
Keep them on their toes.
Yeah, eventually. I still want to jump that Taco Bell. There's a Taco Bell over here by the house that's money. There's a big nursery parking lot next to it, the Taco Bell, and on the other side there's some Mexican restaurant. So it's like you could hit like the drive-through lane, Taco Bell, the parking lot for Taco Bell, and like land in the other parking lot. Be awesome.
Well, let's get on it.
I've been trying to get Jeff over here from Canada for like a couple years now to do it. So maybe one of these days. So
one of these days when people can transfer over the border.
Yes. So when are you racing?
I'm going racing this weekend. Toledo, first time of the year.
Are you guys are running? Nice.
You see it?
I was gonna say last weekend was like their track cleanup or whatever.
Yeah. Whoops. I missed that. But yeah, it all fires up this weekend. Midwest Series is like third week of May. And yeah, it's race season.
Cool.
It's not warm yet, but it's race season.
Yeah. I wonder if I know Brad Dewey got a Mugen A-scale car. I don't know if you remember him. He ran a little bit of 12 scale by me, and he's run a bunch of A-scale off-road races over the years. He's the one that sent me the Columbus A-scale off-road video.
I know the name for sure. I just don't know if I've ever. I'm sure I've seen him somewhere.
Yeah, you'll probably recognize him. But yeah, I guess he's got one, so I have to text him and see if he's going, because I told him when he does and Toledo starts running, I'll have to come down and hang out and help him out, because I don't think he's ever run nitro on road. He's always run a lot of nitro off road, a lot of off road stuff in general, a little bit of on road.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, I know. You could tell he's new to the A scale. He's like asking me, he's like, I'm pushing on this and the car doesn't go down. Is this supposed to? He's pushing on the body mount and the back end of the chassis wasn't moving. I was like, yeah, that's good. That's how you want it.
Yeah, it's set up right.
So yeah, there's some fun stuff.
Turning these tires, they're locked together in the back. What's going on here?
Yeah. So I know he's gonna love it. I think he'll run really good too. But I told him I wanted to come down and see him run or give a hand, or I'll suggest to send him your way to if he's got any questions or problems if I can't make it out there.
They're always lots of fun when they're running good.
Yeah. So you've been running some of the A scale car now, right?
I did a little bit last year. This year just going to be sedan.
Yeah.
I 2 classes is a lot of work. And it's just.
Who are you talking to?
I get it. I completely understand. But we went down to Texas for the nationals, running 2 classes, and the races aren't as big as they used to be.
Yeah, so that's true. I'll give
there's
you
not
that
a ton
much
of time, and it's I don't know, less people around. It's just it was just not fun. Like, this is supposed to be a little fun.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like, you're running 2 classes, you're pitting for one other guy and begging somebody to pit you, and then you're running chasing pit guy. It's just not. As soon as I get enough money to hire Vaselli full time, then maybe we'll talk. It's just too much.
Yeah.
So back to the sedan, Bobby.
I hear you.
That's my thing, anyways.
Wow.
So
I'd only be running A scale.
Yeah.
If I had to choose one to run, it definitely would be only A scale.
I ran all last year, and I still never just really felt like I was locked in with the car. I don't know. They're fun to drive. They're just a lot. I don't know. I'll take my sedan.
I hear you.
It's easier to get faster engines in sedan too.
True.
So.
Very true. I don't know, man. There's still being able to throw an A scale car around and drive as hard as you can with those is just, I don't know. That's still way more fun.
I don't think
if I could choose only one class to ever race again in RC or ever drive, that's still A scale's it.
I don't think that's how it is anymore, though. It's they're like freaking locked in like 12 scale cars.
Yeah, they are more.
A little bit more than, like, there's not as many people sliding it backwards across the line at Toledo like you do, I saw a comment about how you said your heavy braking style was maybe your downfall.
Oh, somewhere. For sure. I broke so many rear belts at
no one drives like that. Huh? People, I mean, yes, they use the throttle, but they're not using the brakes to turn the car. I don't know. It's the soft tires and the wedge body that does it.
Yeah, and that, I'll be honest, that was one of the problems I had at the Nationals was I wanted to drive like I used to. And that was one of the things I found is as I ran more, just the car was too free getting into a corner to drive like that.
Melts the tires off. Gets them all, I don't know, they're too soft. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely different with the tire additive and the bodies the way they are. I mean, I think I probably hurt myself at the Nationals the way I was driving. I tried to dial some of that back for the main in that, but I think my tire additive game was totally garbage for that. So I was fast at the beginning and kind of drove by everybody and pulled away, and then my tires started to fade. But I mean, still the only one that was running me down was DJ. And even looking at when the gust of wind took me off the track there, which is, I can't believe it got that windy. But even when that happened, like, I mean, looking at the times and knowing those guys did tire changes and the pace I was running and the pace, like I knew where the car was as far as like what tire size and the lap times. And I knew like I was only a couple minutes away from it actually dropping a few tenths as far as getting faster. So I knew what the tire change and that stuff, and then looking at the times, like I really wish I wouldn't have broke the car, you know, with the gust of wind in the
you
car.
had the right pace.
Yeah, I would have beat those guys with no tire change and running 5 minutes on fuel and all that, no problem. So I still am kind of flabbergasted that as much as these cars have changed and improved, they weren't really going faster. So
no, but I mean that place is sensitive with the grip level of the surface. I mean, like as it ages, I don't know when the last time they redid it, but it's not the smoothest I've ever seen it. And,
no, and plus too, now with it looking like a demilitarized zone with all the malls stripped down, when the wind does pick up,
sandblasted 24 hours a day.
Yeah, with the wind picking up, the track got definitely slick from all the dirt getting blown on it from the parking lots and the torn down mall there. So, but still, they're still a blast to drive.
It's definitely a blast.
Still, there's none better than an A scale nitro on road car. I don't care what anybody says.
If I could drive one that I didn't have to work on and make dialed or something, I don't know. Apparently, they just don't agree with me. I'd be down for that, but we don't sync up, me and the old 8 scales. I guess I don't know.
I think just knowing the way you drive with touring car and all that stuff, I definitely think there's a specific style that works with A scale.
I don't pick up the throttle early enough to drive them right.
You know, you have to be on the brakes and like kind of almost throwing the car into the corner. Well, you don't have to throw them into the corner, but you just have to be shutting them down and lifting sooner. You almost have to take like the whole corner and say, here's your normal braking spot and here's your throttle point, you know, and here's a hairpin. You kind of like twist everything back around. So, you know, before you even hit the apex, you're already back on the throttle and using that to turn the car with the spools.
And that's not
everything's kind of twisted.
That's not my strong suit.
Yeah.
I mean, as like in Toledo, like I was probably braking where you were picking up the gas to go around that, you know, the first turn into the sweeper.
Probably.
That's all throttle to turn around that, not brakes. It's throttle. Yeah. And I use brakes to try and turn or something. I don't know. More steering. And then they end up hard to drive.
Yeah.
Which is pretty standard for me. So
yeah.
More time's needed, but like I said, I just want one good year with this sedan.
I hear you.
It's going to be a good year. Hopefully.
Should be. Nats will be interesting out at Steel City, huh? You get to run on all the bike that they say out there.
If that's the thing that happens, I don't know if it's been announced yet, but that's what we're hearing.
Okay.
So we'll see. Somewhere in California, they say.
That would be fun. I still like was pained watching the Worlds, like seeing guys flip over and their cars pivoting in the middle of corners and stuff like that. Like that's all my kind of wheelhouse, A scale racing. Like, why don't you guys change this? Like I felt bad. I was blowing up the Capricorn guards for the first few days. Like, why don't you guys try this stuff? That won't work. It's high bite. It will work. Trust me. Like I've run on this before.
I think they would listen to you about high bite stuff. You've had pretty good history with converting cars to work good on high traction, low C X-ray, etc. You know,
hadn't raced enough to be relevant to where they would listen. But I still guarantee. I still guarantee if I went out there, like I could still drive good enough, and I sure as hell know how to set up a car for high bite. So I guarantee you I could have been competitive out there at that Worlds. So way more than I think anybody realizes. So, but
there's only one way to find out. Start building the car.
Maybe in a few years. Hopefully I don't lose too much wheel. I'll just come run that track just once just to do it.
Well, you ain't catching WG still got you by a couple of years, so I think you're doing all right.
Yeah, he won his world championship at the same age I am now.
So you just hit your prime then, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, Nitro Prime at 43. No, that's why I was laughing. Yeah, I still got all the old Evolva stuff kicking here. I still want to do that one day and like properly have one of those. And like, I got my Capricorn car still from the Nat sitting up here on the shelf. Like to do a to B with both of those with, like proper setup. Last time I tried to run my Kyosho car at Toledo before the Nats, and that's what I was going to run. I had like the crazy stiff Delta chassis and all the stuff set up on it for like high bite. So I was going to take that thing and put the stock chassis on and put on the low bite setup, and I wanted to A to B them, but I haven't run since. So that's on my list to do. Hopefully I can get out there by you guys and just throw both of those down this summer and A to B them, and we can get a laugh at whether there is a massive difference or whether it's not as much as everybody thinks.
It'd be interesting for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, the speeds are all the same, so I don't know. Whatever's changing, something's staying the same for some reason in terms of speed. So
yeah, isn't that kind of weird that I ran almost 18 laps, or I did run 18 laps in like 2003, and
with a Delta body, practically, right?
Yes, sir.
Think about it. Maybe because it was 10 miles an hour faster down the straightaway.
72 versus 67 is definitely a couple tenths. That's a big difference in drag and downforce and fuel mileage. Because you got to figure at those times too, like we could make mileage. So we were running 30%, 35%.
Well, yeah, you can make mileage when you're not holding a freaking, dragging a parachute around. That would help.
Parasail.
Yeah. It's like an inch higher, isn't it? Something.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Like the low, and that's the fun part because I still have the body from the World.
There it is.
Here, we'll do this. Yeah, so I still have that from the Worlds. So I mean, when you compare that, you just kind of line up the wheel wells. It's kind of ridiculous.
Wow.
And that's legit. Like that's no joke. That's the difference.
I really wish we had more of that type stuff.
I mean, this on my car was 130 millimeters to here, and these are what 165.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's over an inch. It's over an inch.
That's drag and side force. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. But we don't really go any faster, so I don't know. So like I said, that would be, I'm sure the new cars today and the bodies are way easier to drive.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. Exactly what it is.
Yeah. Are they any faster? Doubtful.
They go faster through the turns, probably, but not. Yeah.
But this is one of the things I talk about with the electric stuff. And guys talking about, oh, it's the motors, it's this, it's that, or whatever. The biggest thing we're still talking about A-scale cars running 18 laps. Now, what's a dude's name that was running electric sedan out there and passing all of us on the straightaway? He was doing a battery change.
I don't know. Oh, Kevin Marcy?
There you go.
Yeah.
So Marcy was running an electric sedan and passed me on the straightaway in A-scale. And that's one of the things I kind of keep referencing to with the electric stuff is you got the battery that is the same size, but just keeps making more and more and more capacity. If fuel tank is still 125 cc's, we still run 18 laps at Toledo. There's kind of a balance of this is your energy density. This is what you got. That's how fast it goes. The electric keeps making the fuel tank bigger. I mean, can you imagine putting up? Shit, what would that have to be? Imagine putting a 500 cc gas tank in your nitro car and then going, okay, make yourself use it all up in 5 minutes. It might get a little faster.
I'm sure we could make it really erratic and hard to drive, and probably make even less people race it. Yeah,
kind of like electric 12 scale modified. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well,
I have my opinion. I could be wrong.
Could be. Could not be. Tough to say. Let's check the counts. Let's check the car counts.
Yeah. Dude, the most impressive thing looking back at some of these old races is just how many people are standing around the track. Like spectator wise at like the off-road worlds, I remember getting there at like 8 o'clock in the morning just to be able to get like a front row bench seat. And it was being like 3, 4, 5 people deep around the track to watch that off-road worlds at Freedom Hill. You know, and some of the, you know, Cleveland or some of the other races just having no room to even get into the ballrooms. And now how empty it is. That's one of the things that I hope with all these videos that I'm going to post. And as I start doing more like technical videos of the old stuff versus today's, the speed differential, you know, and that kind of stuff, I think hopefully it'll open some people's eyes to see like what I was trying to talk about initially is that like just because they're faster doesn't mean the racing's better and more people want to race them. I think that's one thing that all the diehards that have been in this for so long have kind of lost touch with. So,
you remember when Oval went to 4-cell?
Yeah.
Everyone was all freaking out about it being too slow and blah blah blah, and it saved it. Really, I mean, they finally realized like, oh, we couldn't do that before. Look how much better racing we have now that we're, you know,
well, I still
slightly more under control.
I still laugh because one of the last 6L races, well, I guess there's a couple of them, but like the Snowbirds, we ran 69 laps with 6L Open Pro Mod the last year we ran it. What was that, 2007? And then the class died. And now they're running 80 laps on a bigger track with 1-cell LiPo. But you couldn't even make a 10.5 and maybe even 13.5 mains at the Snowbirds and Oval with a 6L Pro Mod car from 2007.
Big gas tank.
Big gas tank. You know, or I use the example like Akron's Banked Oval Track. I TQ'd, I love that place. God, I TQ'd the carpet oval nats there and ran 62 laps. We went back with 4-cell just a couple years later and ran 63.
64, didn't you?
Yeah, 63 or 4. And then we went back a few years later and ran, I think it was 10.5 brushless. I went down there with Fine Tune and Adam Lear and those guys, and they ran like 69 laps in 13.5 or 10.5 rather. So, I mean,
that place was so awesome. Can I just say that, by the way? What a good track that was.
That was a lot of fun. That place was a lot of fun. That was definitely one of those places where if you got your car right, it felt like it like almost like fell into the corner and then just like launched like a rocket ship.
Like like you freaking slingshot out of there. It was
yeah, it was so weird. If you got your car right, it was a blast to drive. So
it really was. I miss that.
Yeah. 12-scale mod oval on that track was sketchy. I remember racing your pops there the last nationals we ran.
Couldn't have been that sketchy. He was like 60. He was doing it.
Yeah.
Him and Phil probably still.
Well, I know my car wasn't very good, and he was giving me a handful trying to race with him.
I think he beat you in one main. I don't know. Something happened.
He did.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, I crashed.
Big Ted.
I crashed.
He's national champion. He won 98 stock.
Did he?
Yeah, 98 stock 12-scale.
Hmm.
And that's back when it was like popping. You remember that race? Like that 6L, that mod main was like legends.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that was fun. So no, I don't know. I have to admit, every videotape I do, like it's marked with something, and then like this one, I started scanning it because it's marked Bridgeport 91 stock and mod, and I'm like, okay. So I put it in and I start recording all this stuff, and I was like, all right, and it's playing and it ends, and I was doing something and it was still playing on my screen as it's like recording on the converter thing, and all of a sudden it friggin' pops up and it's Masami. Yeah, you gotta check this out. Let me flip the screen really quick. Furnace just turned on. It's loud.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, I'm in the basement.
freaking cold again over these parts.
Here, you gotta check this out. So it's a little notchy, like playing a video thing through a video thing and all this. I haven't quite figured out all this stuff on how to like make it work right.
That's smooth now.
Yeah, it's gotten better. But yeah, this was on after all the carpet or all the concrete oval racing from Bridgeport with wide body stuff. So
another awesome track, by the way. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. I got to race there. I'm that old school.
Yeah,
so that's the best Friday night racing ever.
So yeah, this is one of the uploads that I'm cleaning up and going to get posted tomorrow, along with some of the stuff from Bridgeport. So yeah,
that's pretty wild.
So the cool part is you got like, fast forward a little bit here. You got
all that
Pavitas and Jürgen Lottenbach from LRP and a whole bunch of these dudes. Now, the crazy part to me, like looking back on this, was just thinking about like sitting here. I was sitting over here watching the race, and friggin' a few years later, like, you know, going out to California and riding around with Pavitas to some races and stuff like that. Like, just kind of funny looking back on it. Like, kind of think back, like what you were thinking at the time, and then what happened after that down the road. That's
I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
So yeah, so
that's some off-road racing right there, baby.
What's that?
So that's some real off-road racing right there, baby.
Yeah, you see everybody running their X2000s or 4.0 Losi tires or whatever Hot Laps Yokomo tires that Masami brought. So yeah, these are the ones that are going up tomorrow, along with the oval stuff from Bridgeport. So
that's gonna be really cool to see. What year is the oval stuff? 91?
91 wide bodies.
Wow.
Wide bodies was like standard 10Ls. Like, I think we ran our batteries like 5 and 1 because there was only 5 battery slots. So we ran like a 5 and 1 with the Speedo next to it on the right side of the T-bar.
You guys thought you had it all figured out too. Like, oh,
what's that?
I said you probably thought you had it all figured out. Like, yeah, I got this great.
Dude, it is so. The whole back window is cut out with the wing mounted to the pod with wing wire.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
oh yeah. It's funny to see an oval car like turn into a bank corner and lift the inside front wheel and carry it down into the corner. Good stuff. So yeah, yes. I got both stock on there. My dad won the stock main, and then I got the modified main too, or black stock one, and I think I finished second. I finished second because everybody else started wrecking or dumping at the end. So, but it's awesome. It's pretty funny. Cryos, Greg Cryos, Brad Hayes, all those guys are in it. So
that's the first place I ever met Blackstock.
Really? Was that Bridgeport?
Probably 95, something like that. And he popped up running for Woods. I think it was when he was, I don't know, they had something going on. But yeah, that year I was like, oh, Mike Blackstock's here? Oh yeah. And so, yeah, Bridgeport's the first place I saw him.
Nice.
Of all places.
Yeah, it'll be pretty funny. So looking forward to getting those posted. And I don't know, I got a bunch of other stuff kind of in the queue that I've been slacking on getting done. So like I said, I'm going to try and get a whole bunch of this stuff done this week, and probably try and get at least 2 or 3 racing videos posted per day until Denver, and then try and do at least one of these each evening with some of this CAD stuff, just so I can get it all done and loaded. Because let's face it, when I get back from Denver, I'll be a lazy ass, and it'll take me a few days to get back in the swing and get back to doing more stuff. But so we'll see.
Alrighty then.
I have to check what we're doing. Maybe I can come down this weekend and harass you guys for a few minutes out to Toledo or something.
Yeah, I'm going down Sunday.
Okay.
Not too early because it's going to be like 35 degrees in the morning, but sometime after that.
All right, maybe I won't come down.
Well, it's supposed to get up a little warmer, but it's not going to be a 8 o'clock start of the day.
I'll see you guys around noon.
There you go. Well, that's what. How's that different than any other time?
All right. I'll roll down. I'll text you on the way. Hey, want some Taco Bell? Meet you.
Perfect. Andy, if you're out there, let's go.
Oh, there we go. I could bring old Cheesemo out.
Oh no, he's scared. He doesn't want to come out there. It costs him too much money.
He doesn't want to come out because he doesn't want to get addicted.
Yeah, well, it's gonna happen either way. Just get it out of the way.
Yeah. I don't know. Keep trying to suck him back in.
Guys.
But then I can't really say nothing because I'm not racing either. So. But,
yeah, it's okay. We can still bust on him.
Yeah.
You listening, Andy? We're talking to you. Make sure you watch an hour into this video so you can hear us talk about you.
All right, I'll make sure to send him a message that he's got fast forward to. Holy cow! It's been an hour.
Yeah, I just looked down.
Hockey players are home. Time for creaking floor and dragging hockey crap down the stairs and banging off everything. So I think we're gonna finish this one at an hour.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
Until
Bob.
next time.
Yep. Catch you later.